Hey, everybody. Welcome to Battle Wounds Podcast. And I'm your host, Amos St. John. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate that you've taken your time to come be a part of this journey. If you haven't had a chance to even press like, subscribe, comment, this is your opportunity. Subscribe or even follow, like this podcast, share it with someone who you feel that may benefit from this experience. Again, I've mentioned before, I'm building an army. We all are dealing with battles privately, and some may be experiencing it publicly or with others. And so, I'm building an army of people just to hold each other together and accountable and encourage each other to navigate these battles in life that we are at times wounded. And so, speaking of wounded, I just want to thank everyone who's supported. Even the last episode was a very special episode for me. It was very vulnerable. Talking about breaking cycles, break the cycle. And the response was, very overwhelming and truly encouraged by it. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support and just understanding this is a journey, and sometimes you have to navigate difficult emotions and things in thoughts and stuff like that. And as I reflect, even from last week, and talk to a couple of good friends, I was just noticing, man, this has been a tough mental and emotional season. And when I thought about it, I said, maybe this is growing pains. Yes, that's what it is, growing pains. And it just basically shined a light on, basically, you don't look at all challenges as a negative things. Look at us as we were kids. Many of us went through growing pains. I remember one summer I shot from one height to another height. People saw me at the end of the summer like, oh my gosh, you jumped by leaps and bounds. But there are times that you experience pains as you grow, but it's for a greater benefit. And so how can we navigate growing pains? When you're in a season of shifting from one level to the next level, it requires a lot of growing pains. It's uncomfortable. It can be uncertain. And so this episode, we're going to talk about 10 ways to navigate growing pains. Yes, 10 ways to navigate growing pains. What I mean by growing pains, it's the emotional, that's the mental challenging of growing to the next level, of elevating and moving to higher and higher, higher heights and deeper depths. It's going to require dealing with growing pains. And so let's talk about it. 10 ways. We'll most likely be splitting this into two parts because it's 10 ways. And so we're going to probably get through half today. And then next episode, we'll go the last half. But I really want to talk about these 10 ways to navigate growing pains. Let's go. Here we go. The first one, you need to have a healthy relationship with change. What? Listen, change is inevitable. We are living in a time where change is constant. We're dealing with so much change because it's like, with our government, we're in a political season. There's stuff happening all over in different cities, different regions, different countries, and at war and different, there's so much change happening. Not even in this, from the technological aspect, everything has AI now, artificial intelligence, and that's a change. Jobs are being replaced by AI, and some of us are grieving the good old days. Like, man, why can't we just get a simple, person? Now everything is AI. That's a change. And so instead of bucking against it, I encourage, as you navigate growing pains in life, to have a healthy relationship with change. That's something that I personally deal with, because this life, I can say in the last couple of years, I've dealt with so much change, so much ups and quite a few downs, and it's changed. Like, your circles of friends has changed. The people that were once close are no longer close. The job that you were comfortable with is no longer there. The house that you had there's so much change happening. It can be overwhelming. So as you deal with it, but it's this is how you frame it and how you reframe it. And I look at it as growing pains. You're getting older, you're growing, and you may experience a little setback, but it's part of the growth. And so I had to learn and teach and constantly teach myself to have a healthy relationship with change. Remember, change is inevitable. Second thing, you have to develop a growth mindset. Growing pains really as an adult deals with more emotional and mental. Those are the two areas that you deal with growing pains in. You know, it may deal with some physical, like my knees. I'm telling you, that's a whole nother story. Stop. But seriously, mental and emotional, it's typically the common areas where you deal with growing pains as an adult. And so what helps me deal with the growing pains is developing a growth mindset. The key word is develop. Develop means that it's not an instant thing. It's a constant movement. You're developing a growth mindset to embrace growing pains. It's not forever. It's just a season. Growing pains is a transitional moment. So if you develop a growth mindset, you understand like, okay, I have to endure this discomfort. I have to endure this pain to get to this next level. So having a growth mindset, you embrace it differently. And so develop a growth mindset is another way to navigate growing pains. Okay, let's talk about it. The third thing, manage your moods. That's a touchy subject. As I mentioned, it's a very emotional and mental difficult, experience dealing with growing pains as an adult. And so sometimes you wake up, you're not in the mood, you're depressed or you're anxious, you're dealing with anxiety, you're dealing with all sorts of emotions, and you may have family, you may be alone, you may be dealing with complexities in your environment, and your moods, maybe you may not feel like it. Now, you got to give yourself grace, which is actually number 4. Give yourself grace. So let's talk about number 3 and number 4. Manage your moods and give yourself grace. Those kind of go hand in hand. Managing your moods is understanding, okay, I'm in a funk today. All right. What do I need to do? What do I need to stay away from? Have that awareness to knowing that, okay, don't lie to yourself and say, I'm good. No, you're not good. I'm not having a good day. Be honest with yourself is definitely a key way in helping managing your moods. Maybe there's certain environments you need to stay away from. I don't need to be around people today. And I need to get myself together. Or if I'm around people today, I need to give them a heads up that I'm in a space. I'm in an emotional, or I'm in a headspace that's just not cool right now. Okay, give yourself that grace. All right. But you have to really understand you have to manage it. Just don't dwell in it and just start bleeding all everywhere, not necessarily literally bleeding, but you know what I'm saying? Just don't start just radiating all that negative energy or that mood to everybody. Man, try your best to manage it, but also give yourself grace. So that's that constant balancing, like, okay, I know I can't dwell here long, but I kind of have to stick here and kind of process these moods and emotions a little bit, understand what's the root, what am I feeling, what's wrong with me, why am I feeling this way? Like, that's a whole process of managing moods. Now, this also is a great tool to work with your therapist with. If you have a therapist, they can really help you and give you better resources in helping managing your moods, or really unpacking, why am I feeling this way? Where's this coming from? And so I've noticed in my life, when I'm in a space or a funk, I'm now able, because I've gone through therapy and I'm going through therapy, I'm able to kind of to hold space and really dig deeper. Like, okay, there's a root to this. There's a root to why I'm feeling this way. What is it? Does something trigger me? There's something, last week when I was talking about breaking the cycle, I was triggered. I was in a space where I was just like reminded of being in an environment that was not healthy for me. I am now, because of being able to navigate different difficult seasons, growing pains, I now have the tools to get through difficult moments, difficult moods. And when I was talking about on last episode, break the cycle, I was in this cycle for years. I'm 44 now, so I've gone through this. To get to this point, I've gone through this quite a few times. And I never quite learned the lesson, but I think my therapist, he already knew, was like, you're eventually going to figure this thing out. And it finally clicked, like, yo, I got to break the cycle. Like, I keep subjecting myself in this cycle of unhealthy thinking, unhealthy moods, and woe is me, and that victim mentality. And when I realized, like, yo, I have the power to change my circumstances by the way I think and the way I emote, like, that really was so life-changing. I can't blame anyone else. I can't point the finger. I have to really deal with me in order for my situation to change. And so in navigating growing pains, understanding, manage your moods, and giving yourself that grace, like, okay, today I don't have the strength. All right, let's wait. Let's give myself some time. Let me do something that makes me happy. Let me go to the movie. Let me go golfing. Let me go place, to the gym. Go to the mall. Like, do something to help manage your moods. If it's something that gives you makes you happy. But don't dwell there and be to the point it becomes unhealthy. It becomes a crutch. It becomes what I'm saying. It becomes a handicap. And so understanding that you have the power to shift your situation, and knowing that it sometimes is not the situation or a person or a place or thing, it's you. Sometimes you have to really deal with yourself in order to. And I think part of my growing pains is understanding, like, a lot of the things and situations I've been in was not, some of it was definitely due to other things, but there was quite a few of it that dealt with me, the way I thought of myself. And so once I figured it out, like, oh, okay, I'm able to navigate growing pains differently, which leads me to my fifth point, which is embrace discomfort. Whew. Embracing discomfort. So many of us are in seasons that are uncomfortable. So many of us want out. Like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to be comfortable. I want to be, but we're dealing with uncomfortable, so much things that are, this is uncomfortable. What I had to learn is, like, you know what? There are seasons, you're just in a growing season where you have to deal with discomfort. Embrace it. And so when I, again, learned to kind of change the way I thought about discomfort, I was like, oh, all right. I mean, I can't have consecutive seasons of feel-good moments. I may have to experience some discomfort, a season. There's, as we talk in natural sense, there are 4 seasons. There's fall, there's winter, there's spring, there's summer. Each of these 4 seasons serves a purpose. You realize, it depends on where you live, all of them have 4 different characteristics. So you can't experience 4 seasons experiencing the same thing. It's very unless you live in Alaska, where it's pretty much, what I'm saying, 6 months of lightning. That's a whole nother. So I'm saying, but naturally there are 4 seasons, and each season serves a purpose. So understand the seasons of your life. Every season should not be feeling the same. Like, has to be some level of growth, and it's uncomfortable. There's some things that they're shedding from your life. People are moving around. There's change happening. You're growing. So you have to sometimes you're dealing with a season where there's tons of money in your bank account. It's a great season. Woo, woo, woo. Then a season will come where there's not so much money in your bank account. But that's just part of life. You can rebound and get back to, and learn in the discomfort, embrace the discomfort of not having a lot happening, and learn, like, okay, what do I need to develop? What do I need to work on? There's so many other things it helps your thinking. Again, this growing pains has to do a lot with your thinking and your emotions. And so when you're in that high season there, or you may be experiencing a low season, there's a lesson in both. So embrace it. Embrace the discomfort of when things are not so good right now. Embrace it. Don't let it weigh you down to the point where you're just totally, like, you're totally stuck. But understand, like, it's part of your growing pains. Embrace the discomfort. It's just for a season. Hang in there. Okay? Develop that growth mindset. Have a healthy relationship with change. Manage your moods. Give yourself some grace. embrace discomfort. Yes, these are 5 of 10 ways to navigate growing pains. We got 5 more, but I just wanted to stop here and really let us kind of let's process that again, okay? Have a healthy relationship with change. Develop a growth mindset. Manage your moods. Give yourself grace. And 5, embrace discomfort. Take a moment and just really process that. And realize it's part of growth, is dealing with growing pains. And to navigate the growing pains, you have to build that relationship with change, develop that growth mindset, manage your moods, give yourself a little grace, embrace the discomfort. I'm telling you, once you get those tools and use those resources, you'll navigate through the season of growth and you'll be able to just keep going and elevate. I'm telling you now. So yeah, we're just gonna pause here and I'll be back next week with part 2 of 10 ways to navigate growing pains. I really thank you so much for just tuning in to this first part. This is definitely, hopefully this tool will help you for like be a homework assignment. Leave a comment, DM me, let me know how you feel about processing these first 5 ways of navigating growing pains. And then we'll be back next week for part 2 and where we talk about the next 5. But process that. Have a healthy relationship with change. Develop a growth mindset. Manage your moods. Give yourself grace and embrace discomfort. Let's sit with that this week, okay? That's your homework, and we'll be back next week for part 2 here at the Battle Wounds podcast. I'm your host, Amos St. John, and remember, health is wealth. I am determined to help you have a healthy life, mind, body, and soul. This is something, and I'm speaking from experience. Like, I'm not just going to stand here and be like, you do as I say, not as I do. I'm living this thing of health is wealth. And so let's walk this journey together. And remember, again, health is wealth. And until next week, please have a great time. Process these first 5, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one.